What is going on, everybody? We're live again. Today, we're going to be talking about a very interesting question that I got, and I hear this from my clients very regularly, which is I got on a call with my client. I told them about my service. They said yes. I'm just waiting for them to pay me. Now, I want to talk about both sides, whether this is something you should celebrate, you should be very happy they said yes, or is there more to it? And I think a lot of people get happy very prematurely, which is why I want to go into a lot of detail as soon as my camera doesn't mess up. So let me just change up my camera and give you a better view of myself here. Where are we? Okay, there we are. You're going to have to do with my crappier camera here, okay? So why do I want to talk about this topic today is because there's this false sense of confidence you get once you quote unquote make a sale when the client says yes, they want to buy from you. Okay, so let's say you're on a call with somebody and you explain to them the program. You're like, hey, this is what I offer, this is my service, blah 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 blah. And at the end they're like, hey, yeah, this sounds pretty good, let's do it, blah blah blah. And then it's time to pay, and they're like, yeah, I'll pay later, I'll let you know once this happens, that happens, and they kind of stall it a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about this in more detail, because I want to show you the different reasons this happens. Okay, is this reason to celebrate? So let's just write client says yes. Now this applies to just about any kind of coaching service you might be providing, right? So let's say you get on a call with somebody and the pretense here is that they don't really want to buy. Let's assume that they're not sold on your service, or they don't see the value in what you're providing. Okay, so let's just go into that mindset. Let's suppose they don't want to buy. Okay, why then would they say yes? Let's think about that for a second. Maybe you've taken an hour. Okay, you've talked to them about their challenges. You've talked to them about their pain points. You talked to them about potential solutions, and then you give them the price. And when you drop the price, after that, they say, yes, sounds pretty good. Yeah, sounds good. I'll pay you after the call, or something like that. Why would they say yes if they didn't want to buy? Now, there's a lot of reasons behind this, and if you understand the psychology of this, you'll know that celebrating at yes in a lot of situations is actually really premature. Why? If someone has taken the time to understand your challenges, they've taken the time to understand your pain points, they've taken the time to give you possible solutions, and then they give you a price that you don't like, a lot of people will not tell you that the price is too high, or that it's too high in comparison to something else. So maybe you've got a $2,000 service where you help people with their, fitness or whatever, and you show them how to do exercises and all that, and they're thinking in their head, well, this other coach I know, he has a $200 video course, why don't I just buy that? So they're not going to tell you the price is too high. They're not going to tell you it's too high in comparison to something else. They're not going to tell you that I don't think this will work, or I don't think you can help me, or maybe I don't have money. Some people feel embarrassed. Okay, so if you think about what's easier for people to say on the call, is it easier for them to say, yeah, it sounds pretty good, let me just let you know after this call, I'm going to check my finances, blah, blah, blah. Is that easier to say, or is it easier to say, I don't think this will work? The price is too high. It's too high in comparison to this person. I don't think you can help me. I don't have the money for this. Which one is easier to say? And the thing that's easier to say is the people-pleasing thing, which is, yeah, it sounds pretty good. I'll get off the call and I'll pay you, or I'll check my finances, I'll check my budget, and I'll let you know. The reason I'm talking about this, I don't want to burst your bubble here, but so many people get on the call and they hear yes, and then they're waiting for the payment to come in. They're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting, and the payment never comes in. And you know what happens? They stop replying. Okay? They'll completely ghost you. You'll never hear back. Why? Because again, these were all the concerns they had, but they didn't know how to say it. They didn't know how to say it. So instead they said, let me just tell this person what they want to hear so then they can get me off the call so I have more time to think about it. I don't want to rush into a decision, and then I can slip them an email and tell them I don't want it. And then they will ghost you. This happens so often with so many of my clients. They get super happy. Wow, I talked to this person. They said yes. They were so excited, but I sent them the invoice. They didn't pay, and now they haven't replied to me in 5 days, 6 days, and they completely ghost you. So again, the yes is an illusion. Okay, don't take the yes as celebration. Only take it as celebration when you get paid. When you get paid, that is the only metrics. You don't get paid, nothing. I had a client of mine who said, "Well, the my client said yes, she was all ready to go. The moment I pulled out the invoice and I said, okay, what's your credit card information?" All of a sudden she said, "Oh, actually, I need to think about it. I'll let you know." Well, if you said yes a while ago, then what's there to think about? You know what I mean? So a lot of people will say yes just to relieve the pressure of being sold to so they can get off the call and then make another decision. Okay. Some other people, let's say they say yes, even if they were intending to buy from you, and they get off the phone, then they'll have more questions. Okay, so let's say you talked about the whole program, you talked about everything, and they're like, okay, yeah, sounds pretty good. I'll let you know by tomorrow morning. Now, the moment people hang up the call with you, every single piece of information that you discuss in the call begins to dissipate like wind, right? What's that movie, The Avengers, when he snaps and everyone goes to dust? That's kind of what's happening to all the value you've built on the call, because other things are going to happen. People are going to be doing other things in their life. They'll forget about what you are discussing with them. Okay, they're not going to remember every single detail of everything you talked about. So the more time that passes, the more their mind has gone to other places, the less they remember what you talked about, the less value there is, the less likely they are to sign up with you. So when you get off the call and they say, well, okay, I'll let you know, and then they email you, hey, yeah, I was thinking about it. I had this question. What about this? Okay, what about that? Okay, what about this? What about this? Now you're in this defense offense situation where they're tossing questions at you and you're defending yourself, you're defending your service. And at the end, they've got so many different questions, so many different things to consider that they're like, do I really need all of this stuff? Maybe I can do without this. Maybe I can do without that. They start doing their internal thinking, and oftentimes they backtrack. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We thought about it for a day or two. Not really sure this is what we want to do. We'll let you know, whatever, because the value has died down. This is the same problem that people have with following up, okay? Following up is amazing. Let's say you talk to someone on January 1st, okay? January 1st, you talk to them. Look at my writing. What the hell is this? Does this look like January 1st to you? Jan 1st, okay? There you go. Let's say you talk to someone on January 1st and you gave them the price. You said, hey, my product is $5K or whatever. Do you want to buy it? Are you interested? Whatever. And they're like, yeah, sounds pretty good. Give me a week to think about it. And you're like, yeah, sure. Take a week. No problem, right? They take a week. You meet again on January 8th, or maybe you don't meet, but you follow up with them. Hey, did you have time to think about it? How much stuff happens to us in a week? Right? Maybe you have to go to the gym. You have an entire work week. You have stuff going on in your life. You have a partner. You have kids. You're watching TV. We're listening to a podcast. All these different things are happening. People are absorbing that information, replacing the information that they received in a call with you. So when you touch base after January 1st, Jan 8th, you're like, hey, did you think about it? Right? All they remember is, yeah, I talked to this guy about this service. How much was it again? 5,000? Yeah, that sounds like a lot. I don't think I'm ready to do it. Why? Because all the value that you had built a week ago has been forgotten. They don't remember it anymore. They don't remember because so many other things happen. So when people say, give me a week to think about it, give me 2 weeks, give me 3 weeks, you can do it, but don't expect them to close on the call. Don't expect a very high percentage of people to remember everything you talked about on the call enough to pay you 5,000. People buy emotionally, okay? You can make a logical case as much as you want. People will buy emotionally, and then they will back it up logically. So they might say something like, hey, I went and I bought this new iPhone because it was there, it looked really shiny, and I wanted the new iPhone. But then they'll come back home and say, actually, I'm glad I bought this because it had the new A4 chip. It's got this camera, that camera. They'll start backing it up logically, but they'll buy it emotionally, all right? So think about this. The reason people say yes many times is because they don't want to express their real concerns, okay? Expressing their real concerns is hard for people. The average person doesn't like telling you, listen, whatever you're trying to sell me, I don't think this is going to work. Listen, I don't think I want to buy from you. You don't seem very qualified. Or listen, I don't think that your service is worth it. Instead, they'll say, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Let me think about it and I'll let you know. And you're like, wow, they were really interested, whatever, blah, they wanted to buy. But the problem here was you did not uncover what the true objection was, okay? So again, the reason that leaving a call at yes without collecting payment or not collecting payment right after the call ends, it will leave you with so many clients ghosting you, not following up, or losing sales, is because you haven't built enough urgency. If you've built enough urgency, if you have built enough value on the call, what reason is there then for them not to buy? What do they really want to think about? Let's logically think about that. They want to think about, do they like you? Do they have money? Whatever service you're offering, do they need it? And will it work? These four things, right? If these four things on the call you can establish for them, what reason do they then have not to buy? What is there left to think about? There's nothing left to think about, right? So if you have some holes in your speech where they haven't understood the value which you provide, then there's something to think about, because all of these questions and more are coming in their head. They just don't want to express it. So if you're thinking of, hey, the client says yes and next week they'll pay, yeah, you really want to be on the edge, because a lot of times people will ghost you. A lot of times people will not pay you. They'll change their minds. They'll come up with other excuses. Hey, like the amount of clients that I had in my early days who would, yeah, I had a family emergency, or like how many people have a family emergency all in the same week around your sales call? Like, let's be realistic, right? So all of these reasons are why people will say yes, even though they don't want to buy. Now, there are cases where someone's super excited. They're like, yeah, I'm totally down. Let's do it. I just don't have my credit card on me, or I just need to run it by my wife. Those are fine. Those are good excuses, and that's legitimate, right? They're not even excuses. They're actual concerns. That's okay. But a lot of times the yes is an illusion to buy the client time, because they don't see enough value. This is what I teach my clients to do, to recognize whether they're actually telling you the truth. They're telling you how they actually feel. Because if you fall for the yes, you'll think, oh, I've done a great job. They say yes. You'll stop building value there. You'll stop diagnosing your call there, and then you lose the sale because there were so many unanswered questions left on that call, okay? So what I'm trying to explain to you here in this call is, when people say yes, don't take that as a sign of victory. Don't even take that as a sign of progress, okay? Because it's too often people take yes, they get excited, and then they actually lose the sale. So unless you get paid, it's not a sale, okay? Don't celebrate when people say yes. Always make sure they're completely comfortable. They believe you. They believe the service is going to work. They think they can work with you, and they think they have urgency for it. If all those four things line up, there's no reason for them not to buy, okay? So try to learn how to diagnose people. Again, if you want more help with me with that, just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you out. And just learn how to diagnose the calls. I've got quite a lot of live streams I've already done on this group about how to diagnose people. Once you create enough value, you've created enough value with them, they will want to work with you. The way I teach my sales is, you don't have to pitch your service. You don't have to tell people about how amazing you are, right? Again, I've given this example a number of times, where when you go into a doctor's office, they're not going to tell you, hey, take this medication because it comes with vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin 3, all these vitamins. They're going to be amazing. You're going to feel absolutely awesome. Buy this right now for $19.99. If you buy it from me right now, I'll give it to you for $5 off. No doctor ever does that. Why? Because they're there to solve a problem, right? Consider your sale just like that. You're not going to sell a service unless there's a problem. If there is a problem, you can say, listen, we've talked about the problem. This is what your problem is. This is the solution I provide, and it's this much. Can you afford that? Does that fit your budget? If not, it doesn't fit. Just say, okay, how can I help you out? How can I make this easier for you? You don't have to come up with these weird tactics that I see people using. Oh, I only have 2 slots left. Like, no, you don't have 2 slots left. You have all the slots in the world. You just want me to buy now. Or if you don't buy now, next week, I'm going to have $2,000 increase in my prices. Like, no, you're not. If I come back and I email you saying I want 10, you're still going to give me the same price. No one's going to miss out on a sale like that. So they use all these weird sales tactics. I don't think you need to use any of these sales tactics. Just realize if you've created enough value on the call, people will buy. And don't listen to all these people who say people don't buy on the call with you. They always want to take their time. No, that means they're shit closers. They don't know how to close people on the call. Okay, don't listen to these people who say, you know what, people will take a week to decide. No, they won't take a week to decide. My package is well within the multiple thousands, high four figures, and people make a decision like that on the call. Why? Because there's no reason left to think. I cover all the ground for them, right? That's what I want to teach people like you who are coaches who are trying to sell coaching services. Okay, I hope this helped out. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.